What's up, everyone? Big announcement video today. I have been working on a new course for months. I've not put out a course in about a year and a half or so. This is my 7th course, and it's called the Scale Matrix. And one of the reasons why I decided to create a scale course is that I already did an arpeggio course. It's like, why would I do an arpeggio course when I haven't done a dedicated scale course? So this is talking about things to practice, all the different scales beyond the pentatonics. Not that there's anything wrong with the pentatonics. We talked plenty about the pentatonics. And I have a little introduction video that I want to play before we come back, and I'm going to talk some more about it here. And just remind people that for those of you in San Francisco, I'll be playing there on Thursday at the Presidio Theater. You can get tickets. So let me go over to this here and show you the course. Hey everybody, I'm Rick Beato. Quick question. Are you still relying on the same 3 scales that you kind of know? Major, minor, and pentatonic? Well, that may be why your licks keep sounding the same. Today I'm introducing a brand new course I've been working on for months, the Scale Matrix. I built the Scale Matrix to show you how the fretboard really works. It starts where most players actually live, the major and minor pentatonics, and makes them complete. The 5 shapes, roots in every position, and how to connect them horizontally and vertically. Then we build up. Sequences, blues scales, major minor scale positions, and hexatonic patterns. From there you get to the real color. Individual lessons on all modes of the major, melodic, and harmonic minor scales. Not just lessons on Dorian, Lydian, Mixolydian, but the cool ones like Lydian dominant, mixed flat 6, super Locrian, Dorian sharp 4, and so many more. There are hours of video lessons, clear neck diagrams, and musical examples you can apply today. This is launch week. The Scale Matrix is available now. For the next 7 days, early access is 50% off, just $79. Stop guessing what to play, know what to play. Click the link and let's get to work. Know what to play. Okay, let me show you a little bit more about this as we go down. You can kind of see where the what some of the modules are here. You can see what they look like there. So here's our table of contents. So we're talking about, you got the introduction, major and minor pentatonics. By the way, you can click the link in the description that Mike is pasting in there. It'll take you over to the website. Finding pentatonic roots, connecting pentatonic shapes, developing pentatonic sequences, blues scale, pentatonic licks, pentatonic and blues formulas, hexatonic scale, major and minor scales, modes of the major scale. So I go through all these different modes, all 7 modes of the major scale, of the melodic minor, of the harmonic minor scale. And then after each of those videos, I have a theory whiteboard explainer too that tells you about those, about the particular modes in each scale and how they're constructed. Then we go into the harmonic minor scale, scale formulas, and then I have a bunch of the symmetrical scales, the diminished scale, the augmented scale, the whole tone scale, and how to use those. And then we finish out with the course in context. So when I started doing my my guitar teaching on YouTube way back in 2016, some of the things that I talked about, there was really no context at the time on YouTube. There were some courses, there were very few people were actually talking about these things in a teaching manner. There were teaching videos on how to teach songs, but as far as ways to practice things, developing how to teach scales, for example, like this, or how to teach arpeggios, like in my arpeggio masterclass, like what is a system to do this and how do you actually develop that? Now, these are things that I've been practicing forever. So all the stuff in the course are things that I've practiced since I began playing back in the 1970s. And they're actually the things that I continue to practice. So I'm continuing to practice things like I talk about hexatonic scales, right? If I have a D minor chord here, Now, to me, that's a beautiful sound. You guys hear me play those kind of things. It's like an Eric Johnson sound or Joe Pass. A lot of improvisers will use that, and they may not even know what it is. But it's basically a pentatonic scale with an extra note, or a major scale with a note missing. But the fingerings are really particular, and getting them under your fingers. So I have in that particular lesson where I talk about the hexatonic scale, I go through all the different ways to learn these up and down the fingerboard. And you'll notice as I'm playing that I'm playing this in all different places. I did you know, I had my old guitar teacher, Steve Brown, told me, don't play the fourth on a major chord, okay? And so one of the things was that you would take a major scale, because he would say that, I talk about this actually in the course. Let's say you have a C major 7 chord. That note there, F, ba, is dissonant. It wants to go down to da to the third, or ba to the sharp 4, okay? So it's like, what do you mean don't play it? He means just leave it out of the scale. And it's actually kind of weird when you first do it. So you're going, instead of going, you go. So it's 2, 4, the first, second, third, fifth, sixth, and 7th. So this is a major hexatonic scale. Now, Steve didn't call it that because nobody had a name for it back then. Now, it's really interesting. Honestly, I think I'm the only person. I'm the only person of any of the guitar majors that actually figured out that scale fingering minus that one note and how to play it all over the neck. And Steve would, when he would play, what he played was super melodic and everything. And he would get mad if anyone played the fourth on a major chord. Now, he probably should have said, don't play the fourth on a major chord because it's dissonant, especially on a major 7th chord. But if you do play it, resolve it down, right? So, right? So I'm resolving that fourth down. But instead, this idea of And so the other guitar majors would be like, why is it that when Rick plays on it, why is it that he plays it and it sounds right and Steve never yells at him? And it didn't even occur to me to say, well, why don't you guys just practice this without that note in it? But I didn't even think of it like that. I didn't think of this thing like this hexatonic scales until I got to college and until I got to grad school, and then I started coming up with a more concrete theory for this. And then after that, I was like, oh yeah, it's a 6-note scale, hexatonic scale. So these are the kinds of things that I cover in this. All these different things. Now, 79 bucks for the first week. So it's 50% off this week. Okay. For the next 7 days. Dean, play the 4th and 7th to hear the dissonance. Well, the 7th is not really dissonant, Dean, right? So you really have to, you can do that. You can also play pentatonic. You can play the pentatonic scale as well, right? So The idea is to learn how to cover the entire neck. And I go through my whole system of not only the modes, but the 5 positions of the major scale, the 5 positions of the minor scale. This is kind of what I would call my shortcut for how to learn the scales across the neck. Because to me, the modes are really specific for specific things. Like if I want to play an Aeolian mode, right? If I'm thinking like... I would play licks like that sound more like the Aeolian scale. Right? Now, if I'm playing the 5 positions of the major scale, let's say G major, that I would play. So I just went up to I basically am grabbing every available note in this position. Then that's a second position, third position's here. Then that's a fourth position. So those are the 5 positions of the major scale. It's actually far easier to learn them and cover the entire fingerboard with them. And these are the things that I talk about in this, is like, how do you actually learn these hand positions? Because this is about memorization. And one of the ways to do it is to play things in intervals, right? So I talk about this. I go through my whole way of playing scales in intervals. And intervals, like if you play a scale in thirds. So that's a scale in thirds. You can play... play a scale in 6. I go through how to play the scales in seconds, thirds, fourths, fifths, sixths, sevenths, and then and how to practice those in each of the positions. Because you really want to, if you're in this third position of the major scale, G major, in this position, so every one of those different 5 positions of the major scale, I know how to do all these different interval combinations, which is why it makes it easy to use these scales for improvising. GTK, most important for me is to link the arpeggio scales and back to chords. Yeah, so when I do these scales, especially when I'm doing the modal scales in the course, I actually will have you play the chord off each scale degree, and then play the mode that goes along with it, right? Like if you're playing G melodic minor, I play that, the minor major 7. And I have you play it at the beginning and end of the sequence there, right? And I also have you do the arpeggios too. So if we're doing, A minor, you play the chord, and I'm going to play Dorian, right? Then so I played the chord A minor 7, then I played Dorian, then I came back down, I played A minor 7, then I played the A minor 7 arpeggio. Then I played the A minor triad. So I talk about all these different things in the course, right? So how to actually practice these. So you get the chords under your fingers, you get the scales under your fingers, you get the arpeggios under your fingers, and you understand how the chords and the scales work together, which is the most important thing, right? And this will enable you to really learn the neck. You'll notice in some of the screenshots when I was showing you the course, you'll notice some of the chord shapes I had, and I'm playing chord shapes like this, and then I had the triads in there, which is kind of like that. Is being able to recognize the chord shapes in there. Okay, super chat. Let's see. I see a couple super chats here. Rick, you're a legend. Fraser, thank you very much. Appreciate that. Kevin says, Rick, this is exactly what I've been looking for years. A one-stop shop to study all possible guitar scales. Thank you. Kelvin, not Kevin. Sorry, Kelvin. I appreciate that, man. You know, I really have been, I've been working on this. I've been traveling so much, but I keep coming back. And, you know, it takes months to create a course like this. I've been working on it probably 6 months or so. And, you know, it's like, okay, so what are the things that you really need to, if you want to isolate this down, you don't want to make it, it's 3.5 hours worth of video content, along with downloadable PDFs. And what you don't want to do is you don't want to, I want to put in exactly the amount of stuff that you need. I could have put in way more, obscure scales and things like that you'll never use. What I wanted to do is like, okay, what are the things that you will use for improvising that are really practical? So that's the thing that for me is one of the most important things. Is like, okay, is this practical? What are the things like learning scales and intervals, for example, right? Those things are I think non-negotiable. You should really learn these interval patterns. Why is that? Because even if you're playing a song, if I'm playing long distance runaround, okay, if I play that opening lick in long distance runaround, okay, so I'm playing out of, there's a scale in it, there's an arpeggio, so right there, so right there in that opening riff, you've got an arpeggio, you've got a scale, you've got all these different, you have all these different things that are part of every melody. Every melody has scales, has arpeggios, has all these different things. So it's like finding in those scale patterns also where are those arpeggio fingerings, where's the notes of just the triad. So it's a learning how to recognize all these things in the shape. So like I said, if I'm in this G major shape here, now I played it off the note G, but there's other notes below it. So right there, so what you want to do is you want to get every available note in every position. It doesn't matter what scale you're playing, right? If I'm playing, that's G melodic minor, right? So I went, so right there, I'm playing that scale all over the fingerboard. I know it in every, I know it in every single position. I know that. And I'm doing those intervals. All those different patterns and everything. Once you start getting these things under your fingers, you have them forever. So that is the, and Mike just said it there, muscle memory. There's a lot of muscle memory that goes into this. So that when you're going for runs, any type of fast run, you can really kind of get under it, and you've got, you know exactly where the notes are going to be. And that's the, that's really the key to this thing, is to understand how the chords and scales relate and how to play them all over the fingerboard accurately. And the accurate thing is to, I talk about this in the course, is to rehearse the finger numbers for better or worse, right? So if I think like, if I'm going to play F major right here, I'm going to think 1, 2, 4, 1, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4, 1, 3, 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 4. So I did 1, 2, 4, 1, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4, 1, 3, 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 4. So, that's a lifetime of practice of this stuff, right? But most of it I got under my fingers, 30 years ago or so. And I progressed through them. It was like, modes of the major scale and the 5 major scale positions I learned in high school. I knew all those. I knew all the arpeggios for all basic chords in high school. And then I got to college and I started learning all those melodic minor modes. And then I did and then I got into the harmonic minor modes, and then all the auxiliary scales, the diminished scale. So that diminished scale, that's the half whole diminished scale off E7. And that scale is used all the time. I use that scale. I've been using that. Love that diminished scale. Dominant diminished scale. Then there's the whole step, half step scale, which is called the tonic diminished scale. We're talking about all this stuff. We are in the matrix here. Trying to think if there's any other things that the symmetrical scales. So the symmetrical scales, other than the diminished scale, is a symmetrical scale, right? Because it's the same pattern and it repeats every minor third, okay? The same notes repeat. Another one of the symmetrical scales is the whole tone scale. Now, the whole tone scale, we don't use that much. I talk about it in the course. I think it's a good scale to know. Cool scale. Love that. But my favorite scale in here is the augmented scale. The augmented scale is really one of the coolest scales, and that repeats every major third. I won't play it for you here. You can get it in the course. You can click the link that Mike's pasting in there that goes to guitarscales.co. And that sounds like Schofield. That is Schofield. So John Schofield uses that diminished scale a lot. He used the whole tone scale too, but he used the augmented scale. Like when you hear modern players, you'll hear that augmented scale a lot. Dean says the whole tone scale has a dream quality to it. It really does. Any historically in movie themes and things like that, when they want to have that dream sequence or something, they will use that whole tone scale because it has no half steps in it. There is no kind of sense of a where the tonic is, right? So it's kind of a cool scale that gives you an ambiguous sound. But to me, the augmented scale is even more interesting. But I think you should really know all these. Sean, my favorite channel on YouTube. Courses are brilliant, as are the interviews. Always been fascinated with production. The Lanois interview is a real treat. Keep this up, stable work. Thank you, Sean. I appreciate that. Really appreciate that. I had an interview with Nick Raskulinecz, who's a killer producer. Produced the new Deftones records. Actually, he's done the last 3 or 4 Deftones records. He did 3 Rush records. He did 3 Alice in Chains records. 3 Foo Fighters records, and he's one of the not only best producers, but one of the best engineers out there. Nick is amazing. But we did the interview a few weeks ago here. I've actually visited him up in Nashville. I went to his studio when I was up there last week when I did my live show in Nashville. I went by and I saw Nick, and it was amazing to see the gear, and we listened to. We listened to some. What's up, Dill? I'm on a live stream, Dylan. I'll be done in a minute, Dylan. If I could ever get Dylan to come on camera again. Anyhow, so this week, San Francisco on Thursday, if you're around. Otherwise, you can get the new course, the Scale Matrix. You can go to my website here, or go to the link that Mike put in here. Just click, open up another window here, and go to the link provided there, guitarscales.co. And really appreciate you guys tuning in today. I'm very proud of this course, and I hope you guys check it out. All right. Well, listen, have a great rest of your weekend. We'll see ya. Take care.